So as we begin this chapter, the first lesson we're going to look at is radicals and exponents. And to start with, we're just going to do a review of the properties of exponents. So here they are all written out just in algebraic form. So we know that when we have x to the a times x to the b, you add the exponents. And so maybe we'll say like an x squared plus x to the fourth, times x to the fourth is really x to the sixth because you add 2 plus 6. Then if you divide, if you have maybe x to the 12th divided by x cubed, what you do there, if you divide, you subtract the exponents. So we got 12 minus 3 is 9. The power property tells us that if you take an exponent to a power, you just multiply those exponents. So maybe x to the 12 cubed, well, you're going to multiply those exponents. That's x to the 36th. This one's nice and simple. Anything to the 0 power is 1. So if we took 45 to the 0 power, that's just equal to 1. Anything to the 0 power is 1. Negative exponent property kind of works two ways. This one, x to the negative a, we can actually think of it as over 1. And notice what happens here. It's the reciprocal, or x to the negative a, x to the a goes to the denominator, and you drop that negative. You can also see this property happen if you have a negative in the denominator. So let me write this a different way. If we had 1 over, let's use different variables so we don't get confused, y to the negative b. Well, here we have a negative exponent in the denominator. That's the same as having a positive exponent in the numerator. So an example of that, you might see something like x to the negative 5. Well, that's the same as 1 over x to the 5th. Or another example might be, let's even write this, a over b to the negative 2. Well, that negative 2 exponent means it can come to the numerator, and it'll be a, because a is still in the numerator, times b squared. The next one here is the power of a product. The power of a product looks a lot like the distributive property. It is not this distributive property, but if you have it really does work the same, look the same, and do the same thing. This a is multiplied by both of the exponents of x and y. Now x and y both just have exponents of 1 here, but it is just multiplied by those, so you have x to the a times y to the a. A way to look at this, you might have an x squared y cubed, and so this is going to be equal to this 3 goes to each one, it gets multiplied back to like this property here, it gets multiplied, so that's x to the 6th plus or times y to the 3rd. And same idea with a quotient, the power of a quotient. If you have x squared over y cubed, that's going to be x to the 6th y cubed over y cubed. And so those are the properties of exponents that we have studied before and learned before.